Need help changing your life with fibromyalgia? This is Lives Changed with your host, Deborah Lundquist. Through knowledge and prayer, Deb has learned to live with this difficult and often misdiagnosed disease. Get spiritual and good practical advice for achieving good health and acceptance while living with fibromyalgia. So now, please welcome the host of Lives Changed, Deborah Lundquist.
Welcome to Lives Changed, a show about fibromyalgia and, as such, other chronic pain. I am Deb Lundquist, your host. I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. In 1999, I had a horrible accident in which I was told I should have died, but God had other plans. I acquired reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or as it's now known, complex regional pain syndrome, which is the worst pain known to man. And when the doctors put that to sleep, we discovered I also have fibromyalgia as well as several other chronic pain and immune diseases. I do need to say I am not a doctor or in the medical field in any way. I am a patient just like you. I will not diagnose, suggest you start or stop any medications. I do like audience participation, even though I can't see you. So grab a pen and paper and write things down as you see fit. If you have questions, write those down too, and then you can email them to me at liveschangedradio@gmail.com. Also, let me give you some other places where you can find me. On Facebook, you will find me on that's YOUR, Fibromyalgia. That's a support group for fibromyalgia and other chronic pain. And I have a web page called DebLundquist.com. That's my name, DebLundquist.com, where I have written articles for patients, caregivers, doubters, and even disbelievers. I have a quiz about fibromyalgia, the story of my life and how I got the disease, access to the radio shows and what each show is about, access to the all-natural nutritional products that I use and sell, as well as other products that I'm developing along the way. If you do have doubters in your family, or you have people who would like to know more about fibromyalgia, this is a good place to send them. Again, that's DebLundquist.com. And if you'd like to talk to me personally, my telephone number is 815-214-9443. That is my personal telephone number, 815-214-9443. And if I don't answer, please do leave me a message and I will call you back as soon as I can. Now, the first thing that I like to do at the beginning of every show is repeat affirmations out loud. Now, this is something that I have found very, very helpful, and I do it every day. And it's something that a woman did for me when I thought that I was a 300-pound elephant and I weighed 150 pounds. And she made me stand in front of a mirror and look at myself in the mirror and say some of these things. And I have now added more because I think they're very important. And when I had Dr. Lipton on the show several months ago, she loved these. And so say them out loud with me. If you haven't written them down, please do so and say them during the week to yourself out loud in front of a mirror. Very important, very empowering for you. Now, the first time I run through them, I explain why they're important, and then we run through them a second time out loud with each other. I am not alone, and we are not alone. In the United States, there's 2 to 5% of adults with fibromyalgia. That's up to 10 million adults That doesn't include those who are misdiagnosed or underdiagnosed, doesn't include children and teens. And yes, children and teens do get this. I am beautiful or handsome, as the case may be. They used to say this was a woman's disease, but it is not. More and more men are being diagnosed with this every single day. And our heroes coming back from war are being diagnosed with this because PTSD is now starting to be diagnosed as fibromyalgia. I am loved, and you are so loved. You have no idea how much you are loved. And if you do not believe this, please join your fibromyalgia, the support group. I am needed, and you are. You were needed before, and you're needed even more now, and you don't even know it. And if you don't realize this, please join your fibromyalgia. I still have a purpose, and you do. You're just sick. It doesn't mean your purpose went away. And if you don't believe it, please join your fibromyalgia, and I will explain to you what that is. I am important. Oh boy, are you. You just have an illness. That doesn't mean you're not important. I want you to look at yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and I want you to say, I love you. And if you have forgotten how, I have an article on deblundquist.com that will help you remember how to love yourself. I am a survivor. And if you're listening to this radio show, you are a survivor. I am still me. You just have a disease, but you are still you. I am unique. There is no one else like me anywhere in the world. That makes me not only special, that makes me powerful. All right, let's run through them again. I am not alone. I am beautiful or handsome, as the case may be. I am loved. I am needed. I still have a purpose. I am important. I love you. I am a survivor. I am still me. I am unique. There is no one else like me anywhere in the world. That makes me not only special, that makes me powerful. And one last thing I want to say, that is a gift, so don't waste it. Last week, I talked on the support group as usual with text and video, and I answered private messages, working on my webpage and continuing on the book on fibromyalgia from a patient's perspective. Also, continuing to edit the book with the publishers on RSD CRPS from a patient's perspective. And I also started working with a chiropractor in Gibson City, Illinois, and the massage therapist there too. I must say the chiropractor really surprised me. He doesn't do the old-fashioned crack your neck and pop your spine way of doing things. Nope, he doesn't even put his hands on your body to manipulate your spine. He uses a little instrument and measures your feet to make sure that your legs are the same length. It's amazing. He does x-rays to make sure where you're off, and boy, was I in trouble. My jaw was off one way, and my hips were off another way, and it's just no wonder I was having problems with my back. Anyway, I wrote down the exact name of what he does, but he said you can look it up, AO, chiropractic treatment. There are only 350 chiropractors that do it in the United States. So I'm very fortunate to have it right in my back door. It's very unique. It's very awesome. My back spasm is leaving, and the massage therapist is right there in the same building. And he said my whole left side is tight, not just that one area. So I have to go back right now 3 times a week and about twice for the massage. But it's like every day I can feel it easing, and it's worth it. At first, of course, my muscles were sore because they weren't used to being in the correct position or used to being touched. But the fibro and the RSD are not acting up. It's just that the muscles are a little bit uncomfortable for being put in the right position and getting used to it. Meanwhile, I'm sleeping so much better, and I'm a happier camper. And when Mama is happy, Papa is happy too, right? So, and Bob has a new bathroom trim done, and it's so pretty. And around the handicap tub, it just looks like it's a picture. My new office chair arrived, and I'm so very excited, and there's no chance that I'm going to fall out of this one. And it's really comfortable, and it has good lumbar support. Last week, I spoke about new symptoms and how to handle them, random acts of kindness, and how did that work for you? Did you follow through with that? And verses of the Bible and how they could pertain to fibromyalgia. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did speak directly to disbelievers, family members, and caregivers. I also have posted it on the deblundquist.com page. So if you want to read it, it is there. I really think that if you can get them to listen or read it, it would be beneficial for you. I wanted to remind you of that in case you were unable to listen to it previously. Next week will be an awesome week because Dr. Lipton will be my guest again. And it will be a very interesting show, I think. So be sure you don't miss it. And before we start again today, I would like to say a word to those who are still suffering from so much pain and those who are suffering because of the weather change and the equinox, which is when day and night are equal. And it's coming soon. This is the 19th. That will be tomorrow. Just know that we are concerned about you, and we're thinking about you and praying for you. So one of the subjects when I asked the group what they would like to hear was which came first, the chicken or the egg? All right, well, that wasn't really what they asked. Actually, they wanted to know which came first, the addict or the drug dealer. Now, that is a thought-provoking one and a real discussion getter. So I would love some calls so we could get a discussion really going on this one because I think it would be kind of fun. But anyway, in the good old days, they weren't called drug dealers, I don't think. You know, the drugs were so easy to find and they were cheap because they weren't illegal. You could get them so easily. Shoot, Coca-Cola first came out and it had cocaine in it. I found that very hard to believe at first, but it was true. And alcohol flowed freely until Prohibition, and then it still flowed pretty freely just behind closed doors. They were called speakeasies. My grandfather was a bootlegger in Minneapolis. He made whiskey and bourbon, depending on what part of the, quote, furnace, unquote, he brewed it on, or so he said. He distributed it in a paper bag on streetcars until the mob moved in and he started getting shot at. The feds were looking for my grandfather. They even walked up to him one day and asked him if he had seen WT, my grandfather. He said, yep, he sure had, and he just left through the back door. So then he went up to my grandmother and said it was time to take the kids to the park. And that was code for it was time to move. I have a very colorful history on that side of my family. So in ancient writings, there is talk about oils, essential oils, but no talk about drug dealers. Poppies and opium have been around since the beginning of time, and opium has always been used for pain and other oils as well. When the Chinese were brought over to the U.S. as cheap labor, they brought opium dens. They were not considered illegal. Some people didn't like them that much, but others would go to them to relax. Still others didn't realize that you could get hooked until it was too late. At that time, they weren't considered dealers, and they weren't considered illegal. Drug dealers only really probably came on the scene when governments made drugs illegal, making the price for drugs costly. Then there was a reason to get into the business of selling drugs. When they weren't illegal, they were cheap and weren't worth the trouble or money to get involved, just like alcohol during Prohibition. The mob wasn't really interested in alcohol until the government made it illegal. Then bam, the mob stepped in, made a lot of money, and spent a lot of blood in the process. Gambling became illegal, Las Vegas was born. Prostitution became illegal, need I say more? When the government steps in and calls something illegal, then people will start trafficking it underground. Those people will be called dealers, or in the case of prostitution, pimps. If drugs quit being illegal, the cost would probably go down. The dealers would end up going out of business because people would be able to seek drugs from reputable places they could trust. You really didn't start hearing talks about the cartels, I don't think, until the 20th century. You also didn't hear about people being hooked on LSD, heroin, and other things until after Woodstock. I don't think. Of course, I could be wrong. So I think that probably in the mid-1900s, we got both the addicts and the dealers about the same time. You probably had the addicts before, but you just didn't hear about it. It was probably stuffed under the rug, swept under the rug. You got the legislation too. It could have been earlier than that. A person didn't hear about it. You didn't talk about it in those days. I do know that Ernest Hemingway's time, the drugs were rampant, public, and very easy to get a hold of. Even in restaurants. They were legal during his time. I think it is a vicious cycle, and I think it is like the chicken and the egg as to which came first. I do know the mob was also doing drugs, but I don't know that they were doing them as much as they were the alcohol. Actually, I think it is one that is going to get worse with the government's war on opioid epidemic that is hurting the chronic pain community. I sure would love to hear your thoughts about this. Please email me at liveschangеdradio@gmail.com. Speaking of addictions, did you know that we can also get addicted to sweets? When I was at the chiropractor's office, I happened to spy a couple of articles that I thought were interesting, and so I thought I would share them with you. This article is named Sugar, a Drug, a Poison. Did you know the standard American diet consists of 175 pounds of sugar each year? That is equivalent to 46 teaspoons a day. That's a lot of sugar. That's 35 5-pound bags of sugar a year. Or, in other words, 80,000 hours of immune suppression annually. Wow. Immune suppression starts 30 minutes after eating and lasts up to 5 hours. We really can't handle that, guys. Sugar tastes good, and that's all. It has no nutritional value. Sugar robs the body of enzymes, minerals, and vitamins, especially the B as in boy vitamins. Have you ever had depression, anxiety, panic attacks, heart palpitations, muscle weakness, muscle tenderness, mental difficulties, trouble concentrating, processing information, being forgetful, crying spells, fatigue, being irritable, overwhelmed, can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, and don't forget joint pain? Does that sound like us? Avoid sucrose, glucose, maltose, dextrose, lactose, high fructose corn syrup, molasses, honey, evaporated cane juice, fruit juice concentrate, cane crystals, corn sweetener, and artificial sweeteners. Do not drink soda or pop, whatever you call it, powdered drinks, sport drinks, fruit juices, and absolutely nothing in a can, or plastic bottles, or drink boxes. Instead, use stevia, manuka, that's M as in man, A, N as in Nancy, UKA, honey, or raw, unfiltered honey, but please limit it to 1 teaspoon daily. Start today to reduce your risk of cancer, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. I thought that was a very interesting article. And while we're talking about this, there was another article that caught my eye. The number one most acidic, poisonous ingredient that you need to avoid like the plague. Artificial sweeteners. All the sweetness of sugar and none of the calories. Weight gain or risk of diabetes. It's calorie-free and 180 times sweeter than sugar. Do you use aspartame, saccharin, sucralose, NutraSweet, Splenda, Sweet and Low, or Equal? These sweeteners can be found in nearly 6,000 products. I was shocked when I read that. And get this, at least 500 different prescription drugs. Wow. They hide in places we would never suspect. Diet sodas, well, that's not surprising. Fizzy drinks, chewing gum, yogurt, chewable vitamins, dessert mixes, sugar-free cough drops, diet and diabetic foods, breakfast cereals, jams, and many others. Did you know the Pentagon listed aspartame as a biochemical warfare agent? Now that's just plain scary. It is also highly acidic and a known carcinogenic. Aspartame, say it right, is linked to cancer, leukemia, and lymphoma. Aspartame is worse than sugar-laden Coca-Cola. Aspartame actually sabotages your weight control efforts. People who drink diet drinks regularly experience more weight gain and worsened insulin sensitivity, a precursor for diabetes. It increases belly fat. Well, shoot! The main ingredient in aspartame is methanol. Once inside your body, it breaks down and turns into formaldehyde. Yes, the same stuff they use in paint remover and embalming fluid. So you are just helping the funeral home embalm yourself when you're drinking diet pop. Formaldehyde is a poison. The EPA has concluded that formaldehyde causes cancer in humans, especially breast and prostate cancer. This formaldehyde that's in your body also has an end waste product. It's called formate. Formate causes metabolic acidosis or acidity in your blood. This results in massive nutrient depletion, blindness, fatal kidney damage, multiple organ system failures, and even death. Do you still like your diet goods and drinks? So the source of this is my chiropractor, his office, and that is Skinner Health Improvement at 312 Southwest Street, Gibson City. Very, very informative, I think. Now, I want to talk to you about your teeth and gums. Nutrition is so important for fibromyalgia and chronic pain patients. Whenever we constantly fight pain, our immune systems are compromised. Our fight and flight system is stuck in the on position. Our brains are signaling danger, danger, day in and day out. And this uses extra nutrition to keep our bodies in this hyperactive mode. In other words, chronic pain steals our nutrition every single day. And if we don't replace that nutrition every single day, it will affect us adversely in different ways. None of us will be affected in the same way because our bodies are different. We can't get the nutrition that we need just from food anymore. Our food in this day and age doesn't have the nutrition it had 100 years ago. Plus, it now has toxins in it depending on what we buy. We have to be so very careful what we eat, especially with chronic pain. One of the ways that patients are seeing this nutritional problem happening is through hair loss. Another is bone loss. Another is tooth decay and gum disease. Today, I would like to discuss nutrition and tooth decay and gum disease. I have talked to you about nutrition that I consume. I would like to talk to you about it again, but this time focusing on your teeth and your gums. We can buy individual products and line our shelves with individual bottles of this and that. But by doing that, we're going to miss a bunch of macro minerals that our bodies need. Plus, when we buy them off the shelves at whatever store we're getting them, we're not getting the best vitamins. And if we buy them off of Amazon, we cannot be guaranteed that what we're getting has not been tampered with in some way. I know this is it for sure when we're talking about doTERRA products sold on Amazon. If they're cheaper than what you can get from a wellness advocate, they won't be pure doTERRA because I ask you, who would sell a product cheaper than what they can get it for themselves? Now, one-a-day vitamins aren't going to give us everything that our body needs either. I know that many of us are strapped for money, and so this is very hard for us to hear. And I am sorry, and all that I can say is just do the best that you can. With fibromyalgia, it is so hard to take care of ourselves. But one thing that we must do is take care of our mouths. We must brush our teeth twice a day and use a very good mouthwash to get rid of all those nasty things growing in there. Because the very first entry of things into our bodies is through our nose and through our mouth. And then it goes in and it goes into the rest of our body. So we have to be brushing our teeth. And I'll get into more later, but if you can afford one, a water pick is essential for keeping your mouth clean, according to my dentist. I haven't gotten one yet. She says it's even better than an electric toothbrush. It's on my list of things to buy when I get extra money. I'm waiting for my money tree to grow. With the doTERRA supplements, we can get everything our bodies need. However, I switched to Limu, and my body is absorbing the nutrients better, and slowly my whole life made a 180-degree turn just because it was getting the nutrients it so badly craved. Still, with doTERRA, I use so many of their products. Now, I'm only going to tell you about 5 of them because I'm telling you about mouth and teeth. I only go to the dentist about every 4 to 5 years because honestly, I hate the dentist. This comes from some very horrible experiences as a child. I have very sensitive teeth thanks to my dad, and I just hate going to the dentist. But with the routine that I'm about to share, I have very little plaque even after 4 or 5 years, and I never have cavities. At 64, my gums are healthy. I still have all my teeth, even after hitting my mouth 3 times on the steering wheel in my first accident. When I told the dentist what I do, she said she has heard this several times from other patients. She's really impressed, and she said, keep doing what you're doing, but get a water pick. So here is my testimony for keeping my mouth clean and healthy. I drink my Limu Mui seaweed extract, 4 ounces twice a day. I brush my teeth with doTERRA's toothpaste. Now, I'm not going to say the name of the oils that I use because doTERRA doesn't like us to do that over the air. So if you want to know what they are, you're going to have to contact me. Then, and I feel this is very important, I also brush my tongue with the same toothpaste. I rinse my mouth out with water. Then I make my own mouthwash with doTERRA essential oils. I put 3 to 4 drops of the same essential oil as the toothpaste, then 3 to 4 drops of frankincense, then 2 drops of 2 of their newer oils into the glass. Now, then I add about 4 ounces of water, stir it up really well, and then I rinse my mouth and gargle and swallow and drink the rest. Yes, I swallow what I rinsed my mouth and gargled with because I don't want to waste the oils. Now I'm going to tell you what these oils do. The oil, like the toothbrush, promotes immune health. The next one supports healthy immune system, nervous, and digestive functions. The new one of the new ones helps balance emotions and soothe anxious feelings. And the last one I use supports the health of the cardiovascular, immune, digestive, and respiratory systems. It's a powerful antioxidant, helps calm, soothe, and support the nervous system, and it also may help with pain. Those are just a few of the doTERRA products that I use. I use a lot. If you want to know the exact oils, you will need to contact me or go to my website to discover what they are. Now, none of the oils or Limu are intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and none have been approved by the FDA because they are not drugs. Next, I do take calcium. Now, this is just me, okay? I'm not telling you to do this. I take calcium 1,000 milligrams a day, D3 5,000 milligrams a day, and magnesium glycinate 500 units a day. My compounding pharmacist told me that magnesium glycinate has been formulated specifically for fibromyalgia, and that's why I take that one. And when I switched to that one, it made a huge difference to me on how I felt. He also told me the best uptake of calcium and D3 is when you add the magnesium to your diet. Now, please remember I am not a doctor, but a person can get too much magnesium. So it is very important that you get regular blood tests to check this, as well as your D3 levels. Also, your vitamin B as in boy levels and all your C panel, and all of the other blood tests. It is so important for us to take care of ourselves, not just for us, but for those who love us as well. If we get good, I mean excellent nutrition, our bodies absolutely must have, we will see our bodies do amazing things. God made our bodies like miraculous machines that need the best oils and other perfect fluids that we can give it. And if we give them inferior products, we will see the effects just like we would in any machine. Only in our body, we can't get replacement parts. Those body replacement part shops don't sell body parts, human body parts. I checked. I bring this up today for two reasons. People on the support group, Your Fibromyalgia, on Facebook, have talked a lot about their teeth, and I can't speak as openly there as I am here on how to address the problem. Secondly, at the chiropractor's office, they also have a nutritionist, and she wanted to talk to me about the Limu Mui and the incredible things that it has done for me. You see, the limu we drink comes from the uncontaminated ocean waters around the Tongan Islands and is a brown vegetable seaweed called fucoidan. It has some truly beneficial properties. There are well over 1,500 peer-reviewed papers on this seaweed, including from Harvard, NIH, and others. Not only that, but it has now caught the eye of researchers in every aspect of human health from all over the world. It is not just an exciting product to watch being recognized, but it is an exciting nutritional product to drink and watch how your body reacts. With good nutrition, I no longer get those god-awful complex migraines. Because of this, I have now figured out what my trigger is, and I can tell when one might start, and I can stop them before they start. I might still be down for 3 days, but only 3, and those days are sleeping such a marvelous, deep, dreamless, restful sleep. I have no pain, no vomiting, and no diarrhea. I can now manage it all. In order to figure out how I do it, either call me at 815-214-9443. Again, that's 815-214-9443. Or email me at liveschangedradio@gmail.com. Getting the nutrition that my body was craving so badly has changed my skin. My nails are no longer brittle or ridged. I'm no longer depressed. My brain is no longer fuzzy. I'm almost like I was before my accident in 1999. Had you asked me 5 years ago when I was bedridden and the doctors had given up on me if I would have a large support group, a book with publishers, a website that is growing in popularity, that I would be writing articles, children's books, and have a radio show, as well as counseling people with fibromyalgia, that I would be managing 2 businesses and the farm business accounts, I would have laughed you out of the room and burst into tears. This is my solution. It may not work for everybody because no one is built the same, and it may not fit in everybody's budget. Still, for me, I have all my teeth. My gums are healthy. My blood tests are the best they've ever been. I mean, ever. Another thing I want to explain is that we absolutely must drink water, just plain water, but not out of plastic bottles because the plastic leaches out into the water and we're drinking the toxins that are in the plastic. Have you ever drunk from a plastic bottle and the water tasted funny? Well, that, my friends, is the toxins from the plastic bottle. Get water bottles that are stainless steel or glass and fill them with water and drink from them. This is especially important if you're using essential oils and drinking limu, because they will immediately start detoxing your body, and you need to wash those toxins away. Candida is never far away. And if you don't wash those toxins out, your body by drinking the water that you need every day, Candida can raise its ugly head outside of your gut. And when it does, it appears as a rash and itches like the very devil and can spread and just be horrible. Well, I'm going to have to finish this next week because we have come to the end of the show already. But I want you to know this is Deb Lundquist, and you're listening to Lives Changed Radio. You can send me questions or comments to liveschangedradio@gmail.com. You can also call me personally at 815-214-9443. Again, that's 815-214-9443. You can find me on Facebook at Your, Y-O-U-R, Fibromyalgia, which is my support group. And I do have a webpage, deblundquist.com, where I have articles and so forth. Remember, I am not a doctor, so I'm just a patient just like you, but my anniversary of 19 years is coming up in April, so I do know a lot. Remember, you're stronger than you think. Fight on. You aren't alone. Never think you are. And if you get nervous, you get anxious, just hop onto the Facebook page and we will help you, because there's so many people there who want to help. And please remember that we are there to give you love and support, because that is the purpose of the page. It does not judge. Please come back next week. We are so happy that you came this week. We love it when you join us. Have a good week. Remember to say the affirmations. And we will see you next week with Dr. Lipton.
You've been listening to Lives Changed with host Deborah Lundquist. Find out each week how Deb can educate, guide, and help you get through the daily challenges of living with fibromyalgia on Deb Lundquist's Lives Changed.